Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. This is the 47th episode of this show. I might have just said that. Did I just say that and repeat myself? Oh, well, what a great start. But welcome. I hope that you guys are doing well. I changed a little bit what I'm doing. I'm now broadcasting to my Foulball Productions channel, Rumble, and Twitter. I'm just trying to get more eyeballs on what I'm doing. But it makes me feel good because, hello, Joe's Atmosphere, because it says that there's 59, it looks like there's 70 viewers from my perspective. I know that's not true, but it does feel good. It's a nice feeling, and that's the only reason I did it. For a banal little attaboy that doesn't mean anything. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. You can get this podcast, the MFer Podcast, like I said, on YouTube, on Rumble, on Twitter now. And additionally, anywhere podcasts are available, like Spotify and Pandora and all that good shit. But hello, how's it going, Sentient Dildo? What are you doing? I don't know. Failing publicly. Yes, I hope you guys are having a great evening. Very glad to be back. I do apologize for my absence. Last week did go to Skankfest. Phenomenal trip. I mean trip in multiple senses of the word because I was on mushrooms. But it was a really good time. But wow, it was a party. So when I came back on Monday night, I was pretty hammered, like just beat up, not even just like, oh, it'd been a lot, you know? And so that week was like a lot of recovery. And then last night, I was gonna stick to my Monday night schedule, my Monday 8 o'clock schedule. And my internet was out. Internet was out in the whole complex. So couldn't. So I'm here today. To talk to you lovely folks. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's get started. What are we talking about? Oh, that's right. I have all these topics. So let me see where to begin. I think we'll start. Oh yeah. Okay. I think we'll start here with the Joker. The Joker 2 has been the talk of many people all over the internet, all over YouTube, Twitter. It is a spectacular failure, which is pretty funny, I think. Partially because it was like, no one asked for this. You know, not a thing we wanted. No one was like, God, I can't wait to see what else they do with that story. It just had like a cool, concept and like an original, like a one-off movie that was brilliant, that was really fun and really different. And I really liked it because it had like a plausibility behind it. I was like, this feels like, oh, that's how the Joker could actually come about, which I would really appreciate, which I really did appreciate. So when it was over, I was like, that was fun. And then the sequel idea comes out. I was like, ugh, heard the name. First thing I heard the name was Foulball. And I was just like, ugh. Brilliant's a bit generous, Sentient Dildo. I don't know. I thought it was pretty spectacular. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch it for the sake of, being precise. But I thought it was phenomenal. I love the original Joker. I thought it was a great movie. Definitely heavily inspired by, Scorsese with Taxi Driver. Clearly, you could even argue, parts of it are kind of ripped off. Fair. I think that's fair. But really, I loved it. I thought the angles of the king of comedy on there, and even having De Niro was almost just kind of like on the nose. But overall, I thought it was a really terrific movie. I had no interest in a sequel, even if it looked good. But as soon as I even heard the name, I was like, Folly Adieu. I was like, what does that even mean? Does anyone actually know what that means? I imagine it's French, but is it like the second Folly? I don't even know what that name means. When I heard that, I was like, that's not a good sign. Then I heard it was going to be a musical, and I was like, good God. I mean, I'm not a musical fan. No, sir. No, sirree, Bob, not me. And so I heard that. I was like, that sounds awful. And then it has just, like, tanked spectacularly. And it's a really interesting bomb, There's a lot of bombs in Hollywood, A a lot of movies that just don't do well, or that we've so many people talk about the obviously the woke agenda, which I don't like. I don't care for that. Make that clear to you guys. That is not what I am about. I don't like the woke agenda. Not me. Not this guy. But movies that like kind of seem like they're designed to fail. Just horrible attempts at entertainment. And then there's bombs. It was bad. Just a bad movie. This one is unique in the sense that twice the follies. Yeah, exactly. Twice the follies, twin follies, two follies. Hi, disease. Good to see you, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. Just a really weird concept. But anyway, so this one, no one wanted. Had probably the worst, one of the worst openings. I think it's like one of the worst openings of any superhero movie ever, something like that. Certainly against the budget it had. And dunked on by kind of like, people you'd expect to dunk on, right? Critical Drinkers taking his swings, Gary, Nerdrotic, Baller. The guys that kind of, seem to be on the front lines of especially genre content like that, dunking on it. But then this weird thing started happening where, like, even the mainstream media started, like, trashing it, which that was the thing that kind of blew my mind. I didn't expect to see that coming. I thought, it'd probably get defended, these incel fans, toxic fans, they're going to dunk, they're all wrong and blah, 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 blah. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. In fact, there's some headlines here that are really pretty surprising. This one's from Variety. Inside the Joker Foulball debacle. I mean, calling it a debacle. We're still in the first week. But I guess it's like I bombed first week. That's the end. But I'm just surprised to see this is Variety. They're not, no spin from them whatsoever. And like all these other articles, like there is an article from Lad Bible that like detailed all these walkouts. There's like, okay, here we go. This one is from IndieWire, which is another one that, oh God, big ad. Hold on. How do I, okay, skip the ad. Okay, this is from IndieWire, which is another, like, definitely a mainstream media publication, and certainly a type of publication that wouldn't be like, Nerdrotic's got a point here, That's the toxic fandom to people like that. But here they are with this headline, Joker, Folie à Deux review. Todd Phillips' musical sequel feels like it's bad on purpose. There's no spin here. They agree with the nerds. This movie must really suck. If the mainstream media and, Friday Night Tights are in agreement, man, this movie must suck. It must be a real stinking piece of shit. Hello, Zax. Good to see you, sir. Matthew. Hello, Professor Zax. Good to see you, my friend. But there doesn't seem to be any spin. I did see like a few, like an article, and it was really just a collection of tweets of people like basically, oh, you don't get it, what it was trying to do. But even those weren't even accurate, and at least accurate to what I've heard about it. It didn't sound right. And then they weren't even that piercing. They weren't even like, oh, these horrible fans, blah, blah, blah. It's just amazing. Essential Dildo says, luckily, I'll never find out how shit it is. Yes, that's much how I feel. I mean, I had no interest in seeing it, and certainly none after it bombs. And then the ending that has been described to me, where it's kind of early on in the stream for me to be using these words, but let's say, pegged against his will, say that, and killed by the real Joker. Ooh, I actually posited a theory about that when I was on Circle of Jerks with Zax the other night on Saturday. And I still think this could hold water. Anyway, the idea, I think it is. So DC, this movie, obviously, gigantic fail. But the Batman, not a fail. The original Joker, huge success. Penguin show, incredibly well received. And what's it? James Gunn, right, is now the head of the DCEU. So my thinking is they kind of want to bring it all together. They want to have a reason, a way to tie in this sort of completely fractured, DC movie universe and somehow bring it together. And it's starting to feel thematically consistent, right? The Batman, the Penguin, Joker. Like, it's like almost like the way they did the Avengers, right? Where it was like Thor, Captain America, and then like they bring in the Avengers. So I don't know if maybe they're going for a Justice League thing, but it could be. I don't know, but I have a feeling it could be that they killed off the Joker in this movie, obviously, for whatever reasons. People have all speculated that it's spiteful. It's about how the fans liked the movie, the original movie, for the wrong reasons, and it was an interesting character that everyone liked, and he's supposed to be the anti-hero, and blah, fucking whatever. But I'm thinking that they may have done that, but then the ending is they kill him and the real Joker shows up so that now they can have like the real Joker and then tie him in with the, sparkly Batman universe and the Penguin and actually have like some semblance of a connected universe. I think that is possible because they're all Warner Brothers. But it is merely a theory that I have done zero research on, one that just occurred to me, and I think it's possible. What are you guys saying in the chat here? What are you crazy sons of guns talking about? Disease. It wasn't bad, just not as good. Oh, I heard it was steaming horseshit. That's all I've heard. The only person I was listening to Real BBC today, and I heard Az saying some nice things about it. But that's about it. Like, I haven't heard anyone. I mean, this is IndieWire, Variety, Deadline. All these like mainstream media publications in the entertainment industry just dunking all over this thing. So I don't know. But you could be right. I didn't see it myself. I won't be, but maybe not. Nerdporial Life Form. Oh my goodness, this is so nice. I haven't gotten a super chat in so long. Much appreciated. The Nerdporial Life Form for $5. Missed you, buddy. You as well, my friend. Got to get you on the Chillporial soon. I heard Penguin was great and Joker was not. I'm checked out of superhero multiverses. Totally understandable. Thanks again for that. I would love to come on your show. That would be great. The Penguin is the best show I've seen in years. I think it's spectacular. I think it's like incredibly well written, incredibly well acted, really great cast. Colin Farrell, I never see him in that fat suit. I never can glean the man underneath it. It's a elegant, like perfect performance. He's got such an interesting physicality, mannerisms, method of speech. Like the whole character is so well realized, but the writing underneath it is brilliant. It's so high tension. It's so interesting and kind of rolls and has like these high stakes. It's like basically like a crime drama, but they do use like the source material pretty well. Like it builds on the fact that at the end of the Batman, Falcone was killed and the Riddler's in jail and he set off those bombs and destroyed Gotham. And, so it like builds on that from the beginning. And then this most recent episode, I won't spoil anything, but one of the characters is traumatized by what the Riddler did, by the Riddler's terrorist attack and how much it affects him. And that's so smart because not only is that just like good writing in the sense that, you're just building on what came before, but because the Penguin is so good and so compelling, it really makes like almost in like, what's the word? Like retroactively actually makes like the Batman better because this is treating it with such respect and admiring how goddamn good, is doing such a good job of building on it. It almost makes the Batman better in retrospect, which is like kind of cool. Like that's the power of this show. It's actually making the Batman movie better. Not that was a bad movie, but it wasn't a particularly good movie either. But this is like really respecting it, and it's so interesting. And it's just like God, like what could be, If only other things did this. Like if the Star Wars universe and the Marvel universe were written with this level of acumen, precision, and respect, I mean, these would seriously, they would be the best. It would be such a glut of amazing content. You'd just be overwhelmed. But we don't get any of that. We don't get any of that. I still see sometimes I see people, God, the Acolyte was bad. I'm like, you thought it was going to be good? What the hell is wrong with you? Where have you been? Obviously, it's going to be terrible. He's talking about Deadpool. Who's talking about Deadpool? What are you talking about? Oh. My mistake. Got it. Disease was. Sorry, I would never want to misrepresent you, sir. My mistake. I haven't seen that Deadpool movie yet. I'll get around to it. I'm in no rush. I like the Deadpool movies. I really genuinely do. I think, upon scrutiny, there's definitely some mistakes. There's certain things that you look at and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. That's actually pretty stupid. But overall, I think they're really good, fun. They're just fun movies. So I'll get around to seeing it. And it's like 3 hours. I never want to go into a movie theater and sit there for 3 hours, man. I never want to do that. That is just too much of a time commitment. I don't like getting up to go to the bathroom during a live movie. I want to see the whole thing. I like the comfort in my own house. I'm good. DP3. Okay. Yes. You haven't seen that? No, I know. Yeah, cool. Sounds great, Nerd Portal. Hit me up. Matrama. Oh, it's dealt with like if it was like 9/11 or something like that. I thought it was smart. I thought it was good. But if my grandmother's had wheels, she'd be a bike. Yes, exactly. Theaters can drown. You don't give a fuck. Yeah, fair. Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, I'm not anti-theater. I just don't fucking care. I like going every once in a while. Like, I guess I missed it, but Pulp Fiction, they were doing like a screening of Pulp Fiction at Alamo Drafthouse, and I was like, ooh, I would have liked to have seen that. I definitely, if it's a movie like I genuinely, authentically, like deeply love, I would like to do that. And it's like, I still like the option, but more times than not, I'm just going to sit on my couch and watch it at home. A much better thing for me. Sentient Dildo, he got his pussy blown out. They should show it in primary schools. It'd probably be required viewing at some point. But yeah, no, that did happen, apparently, from the guards or something. Like, I have such little interest. It's like, there's the whole thing that ends up happening, right, is then it's like, well, technically, this is lore, right? This is canon now. And it's like, no, it isn't. You know what I mean? No, it isn't. I choose personally not to believe that Luke Skywalker as a character is destroyed. That he wanted to kill his nephew. Because he's sad, he had a vision. Horseshit. I don't buy that, and I won't buy that. I will continue to enjoy Star Wars as it truly existed. And I'm not going to pretend that that's lore. That's not lore. That's not canon. It's bad fan fiction. And that's all it is. And this is too. This is the same kind of thing. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So I'm not going to let the fact that happen. Although I will say, to be completely honest, I was thinking about it today, it does make me kind of like not thrilled to want to go back and watch the original Joker, knowing that now there's kind of like this spiteful halo around it. I really thought that movie was brilliant. Like, I loved it. Sentimental, you disagree, that's fine. But I thought it was great. I think I own it. I think I own a digital copy because I just thought it was such a good movie. It was just so, like, gritty and tough and, really great character development. And just compelling. And I liked it. I liked how grounded it was and how real it felt. I thought it was really something. Some stretches, certainly. Like, I think I saw in Pitch Meeting, the guy pointed out that this was like a 1980s comedy club and that there's just like always like a video camera going or something like that, which is like not how comedy clubs do it. Like, now they do, but that's not how it was. That certainly wasn't like default. So then that just got clipped and cut and sent to a late night talk show host. Like, no, that's not how things like that go. Fair, fine. All right, I get it. But overall, I think it's dope. But now, I'm gonna have to distance myself like from this thing emotionally before I go back and watch that. Cotton. Watching a movie with loud, smelly strangers is way overrated when you consider you have to smuggle in your munchies and you can't even smoke. Yeah, I'll be honest. You know, if I could vape in a theater, I'd probably be more, welcoming to it. I don't like that you can't just vape anywhere you want. Like, there's no secondhand vape. It's not like smoke that hangs in the air. It's water vapor. It just dissipates immediately. It's not like real smoke. Smoke has mass. It hangs. It lingers, you know. You actually see, like, it gets, if you smoke up a house, it gets on the walls. You know, you can see it. Vape does not. And it's an unpleasant smell maybe to some people. I can see that. But there are no regulations against smelling bad in public or wearing too much cologne. So what's your argument against vaping in public? It's literally just because it's nicotine. But that doesn't make sense either because you can drink in public. And that's an intoxicating substance. There's no rules against that. Why? Like, I don't think there's any logical consistency as to why the hell you can't vape in public. And I wish, and you know what? As an individual, as an American, as a taxpayer, I want to change that. That's the future I want to live in, guys. That's the future. Oh yeah, Superman did get pegged in a Russian prison, and that's canon now. That's canon. Superman's a drape victim. I'm a little gun shy with that word on YouTube. Although I just saw it like in a friggin' political ad while I was watching the baseball game. Oh, speaking of which, the Mets just went up 2-1 against the Phillies. Let's go. I know this isn't the sports ball crowd, but I am a lifelong Mets fan, and watching them move along in the playoffs is terrific. Very exciting for me. So I'm just throwing that out there. Just a little victory lap for myself. Not even for you guys. It's just a purely selfish thing I just did. Don't care. Sensual Dildo, secondhand smoke is a conspiracy theory disseminated by our lizard overlords to control our pineal gland calcification. You tell him, Sentient Dildo. Go off, King. Go off, King. My vape smells like candy. Yes, so does mine. What is this? Dragon melon. Who doesn't like the smell of dragon melons? Gorgeous. Let me see. I have anything else on this Folie à Deux thing? I did just see the one. Oh, yeah. There's some weird shit that was said about this. There was an interview with... oh, God damn it. Oh, no. Oh, I linked the wrong document. Oh, you dumbass. Well, anyway, I'll just paraphrase it then. There was an interview. So at the end of the movie, right, as I understand it, because I didn't see it, at the end of the movie, Joker's in prison or something after having his, God, I was trying to dance around saying that word and try to be clever with it. But anyway, after those men had their way with him, he's in prison and then he gets stabbed by this guy who turns out to be the real Joker, possibly, whatever. And he starts off by saying, "Oh, do you want to hear a joke?" or something like that. And then he stabs him to death or whatever. Joaquin Phoenix described that scene as having a lot of warmth to it. What? Warmth? In the stabbing death of this character? I do think, like, the more you kind of look into it, the more I think, like, they hated... I don't know why they would resent the fans so much, but I really think they did resent the fans of the original film. I think they didn't like that, like, a bunch of, like, toxic fans enjoyed their movie as much as they did and really liked the character of the Joker as much as they did. I really think that has a lot to do with why this movie stinks. Why they went so hard and did all this stuff and brought him down. I think it's kind of like, it's what they wanted you to take away from your first experience, right? It's like, this is how you were supposed to feel about it. But it's the same way that, what's his name? Verhoeven talks about Starship Troopers. Like how he talks about how it's like, oh, it's supposed to be a satire on fascism and this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's not, though. You may have meant to do that, but you failed. It's really not a satire at all. It's barely a criticism. It's like, oh, it has superficial resemblances to maybe like a Nazi army, but there's a terrific video by Sargon of Akkad where he breaks down the politics of Starship Troopers and actually like the galactic federal government or whatever in that movie is actually behaves very respectfully. Like when they make mistakes, they step down. Like they show like frontline footage of the war, which, governments don't do when they're in war because it would affect the morale of the people. The bugs strike first and we fight back. It's like there was all these reasons why it's not fascism at all. And his video goes over it really well. But, okay, you tried to make it anti-fascist. You failed. You know what I mean? You actually made an awesome movie where there is a sense of kind of good and bad, and there's evil and and good guys. There's good and bad guys. It's a pretty clear line in the sand. Okay, no, So the same thing with like the Joker movie. If you intended for him to not be, an anti-hero that we kind of like all really enjoy, well, you failed at that. And it's not my fault. Because I appreciated it, because I thought it was cool, because I liked the character and I liked his arc. I'm not saying he's a good guy. He's not like a moral standard for me to live up to. I just like the movie. I like the character. You're empathetic to him. So, okay, you failed at that. You failed at making it compelling or in the way or to ring in the tone that you wanted it to ring in. That's not my fault, man. And then to resent me because you failed at what you were trying to get across is just insane. I like get good, man. I don't know what to tell you, like do a second pass on your script, I guess. I don't know. Like I did not feel like the ending of the original Joker was like, and isn't he such a piece of shit? It's like, I don't know, man. You really stacked the deck against him. Like, I don't think he was supposed to do what he did, but he would get physically bullied by people. You know what I mean? Like, pushed around at work, was on terrible social services, medication they took him off of, was publicly ridiculed for his first attempt at stand-up. He, had a lot of reasons to resent the world around him, I think. It's like, if that's not the goal, then I don't know, maybe you should have done that thing where he misremembers shit or has like different memories. Maybe you should have had him misremembering those situations where it wasn't that unpleasant, but he in his mind twisted it around, which I think actually narcissists tend to do. I think they tend to imagine scenarios where actually they're kind of being shit, but they view it as that person's victimizing them or the world's against them when it's not actually the case. If that's what you were trying to go for, I mean, you should have done that. You didn't. You wrote a really compelling character with a really good arc and a very plausible ending as a villain. Sick. Don't resent me, though, because you didn't hit the mark you were trying to hit. That's just so juvenile. You know what I think plays into it, too? And I'm not going to belabor this point any longer. I feel like I'm babbling just a bit. But I think it also plays into, like, I don't want to use the word echo chamber because is there a more overused term? I don't know. But it is kind of like his peers in Hollywood, right? I don't think his peers in Hollywood respect or even appreciate the fans of stuff like that, Like nerds and guys like me that are actually interested in this stuff and like kind of really, I don't think that they look at that, especially if it's like, oh, they're the right-wing chuds or whatever. So I imagine him existing in that social circle and those sort of that hierarchy. I imagine there's also pressure to kind of like, oh yeah, I'm not one of them, to kind of like dunk on the collective us. That's just a theory, though. I don't know. That's just something that occurred to me. I was like, I bet that plays into it. Because when I was out there was a lot of that. There was a lot of like, there's a kind of we mentality and a sort of a collective accepted social doctrine, Anyway. I do think it's pretty funny how bad this is failing and how much like everyone's collectively dunking on it, how the mainstream media is dunking on it, the nerds are dunking on it. Everyone's just like, this movie stinks. No. Uh-oh. You tweeted me, Papa? Why do I feel like it won't be a flattering quote tweet? Why do I feel like it's not going to be like something nice? Hey, come watch this fucking retard. Thanks, Pop. That is very... That was great. Thanks, buddy. Boost my old ego there. Much appreciated. Central Dildo, how can they get good when they're trying to operate under white supremacy? That's true. That's true. Did y'all hear? This was like a few weeks back now, but did y'all hear like George R. R. Martin's most recent excuse as to why he can't finish the Game of Thrones books? Is because there's too much fascism in the world. Just too much fascism for him to write. Too much fascism for him to finish those books. Does anyone give a shit anymore? Who cares? I don't. I didn't finish this House of Dragon season. I just lost interest. Not even like anything happened in particular where I didn't like. I was just like, I don't care. Whatever. You know, the brand is kind of spoiled for me for probably ever. And it's like, oh, right, there's books. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe people are still holding out hope that this fat old man is somehow going to survive long enough to do 2 more books. Look, if his current pace is anything to go by, these will be done when he's 140. Okay, I think if you're still holding out hope, that's crazy. That's a wild thing. Such a deal. I'm trying to give a fuck about what some Hollywood F slur thinks about me, but for some reason I just can't. I don't know why. I think for me, it's that I am engaging with their media, right? I am still kind of like mentally engaging with what they put out. So in a way, there's a relationship there. You know, it's like, it's not necessarily like a personal relationship, but it's like I'm engaging with it. I'm enjoying it. And if you resent me for enjoying your thing, I don't know. That's going to rub me the wrong way. Call me crazy. Call me crazy that I spent money on your thing and you resent me for enjoying it. Maybe I just have some kind of personality defect, but I got to be honest. Kind of irks me. You know? I don't know. And like, I'm actually okay for the most part, like depending on the offense, but of separating art from artists. I can still watch actors perform whom I don't appreciate who they are as people. I can do that unless they're really insufferable, you know? But when it comes to like, if you're putting it in your media, it's a lot harder for me to look past it. If it's just some dumb shit you tweet or you have terrible political takes, I mean, that's your right. And, it'll annoy me if I happen to have to read it. But if I don't have to read it, I don't really care. But if you're putting it in the media, if you're destroying it intentionally, that's where I draw the line. And I think I saw this meme earlier the other day, and I think this sums it up perfectly. I think this is it. So modern media be like, I would like some Mountain Dew. Here's a Mountain Dew bottle filled with piss. What the fuck? That isn't what I asked for. Damn, these toxic fans. I think that's really what it comes down to. I think this meme is like summing it up perfectly. It's like I was a fan of the thing, you know? I would like more of the thing, please. And it's like, well, we're going to take the thing, like put a skin of it and pack it full of dog shit, you know? And it's just like, well, now I don't like that. It's like, why are you being so toxic? It's like, this is insane. This is insane. I liked your thing. I'm being punished for liking the thing. Hello, Jake. Jake Diesel. In the house. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping in on this episode of the MFer Podcast. Senjadilla says, even if he lived to 140, he wouldn't finish the books. I'm just going on his pace. You know, it was a hyperbole, but you're probably right. I did see some really good, I think it was another video by Sargon, and I think he was talking about how there's no, like, objective good or evil in his, like, deconstructionalist fantasy, and so therefore there's really no way to end it or go anywhere with it, because if there's just a gray morality, or there is no morality, or there is no good, or there is no, it doesn't really motivate your kind of like inner storyteller, right? Because there's nothing, it doesn't have that righteous overcoming thing. The hero's journey is a thing for a reason. And if you're just one of those, contrarians, and it's like, you thought he was going to be the good guy, but no, he's dead. Ha ha ha, the bad guys. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, you can only take that concept so far if you don't actually have a hero. I mean, I think that's why you see in the later seasons of Game of Thrones how much just plot armor and retconning and, just complete logical leaps they take, because nothing actually is consistent any longer. Nothing can really be. But you can't kill everyone, because then there's nothing to follow. But you also don't know who's supposed to win, because this isn't a tale of good overcoming evil. It's not necessarily a tale about anything, except it's sort of a parallel to medieval Europe and throw in some monsters and shit. I don't know. It's like, once again, I just don't care. I can't care about this stuff. I don't like when they maliciously destroy my stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm above that. I don't like it. It bothers me on a personal level, and I get emotional about it, certainly. But there's just so much else out there that I can't be I can't care that much to hang on to it. I'm like, I'll go find something else to do. You know what I mean? There's other stuff to consume, like The Penguin, which is brilliant, or Slow Horses on Apple Plus. It's one of the best shows out there, I think. Every episode I watch, I like it more. Last week's episode, hell of a cliffhanger. Ooh, good show. I really think you toxic fans would very much appreciate Slow Horses. Recommended. So I have 2 shows I'm watching weekly now. That is amazing. It has not been like that for a very long time. I haven't had shows I'm really looking forward to, And it's even if not, it's I'm reading the 3rd book of Altered Carbon right now. I just can't, oh, you hate me and don't want me to participate in the thing, and this content is a troll on me? Oh, well, I guess I won't consume that anymore. I'm not married to it. I don't have to buy the next Marvel thing that comes out, or the next Joker movie, or the next Star Wars slop. I don't have to do any of that. I'll just move on. And that's what I'm doing. And it's working out just fine. I don't know. It's just kind of all right, well, I'm not into Game of Thrones anymore. I used to be really into it. Used to watch every season, and rewatch him. Oh, he's a tool. He's a fat socialist, as someone put it. All right, fuck him. You're not going to finish this thing? You're not going to... Okay, whatever. I'll move on. You're not the only fantasy author out there. There's countless fantasy books, content, stuff on the way. I don't know. I just can't stay upset about it. You know what I mean? I just got to move on. Anyway, Sentient Dildo. Right, to finish the books in a satisfying way, he'd have to move into token territory, and he being a self-proclaimed anti-token, that ain't happening. Yeah, that's what the main criticism that was leveled at him is. And I was like, man, that is really precise. That sounds 100% right. Well, I think it's part of growing up is realizing that things like the hero's journey, things like objective morality, are not just conventions made by a suppressive society. They exist for a reason. They encapsulate something about the human spirit, something about our existence on this planet. There's a reason why it resonates with millions of people. It's not just conditioning by our fucking college girl takes from a 75-year-old man. Pathetic. But no, there's a reason why Tolkien resonates. There's a reason why you care about that journey. There's a reason why those are 20 years old and they are infinitely rewatchable. There's a reason why I only watch the extended editions. Because it's a very compelling story, and it's one that's relatable. Even though it's about orcs and talking trees and bringing a ring to a volcano, there's still something human about the story. And that is compelling years later. I mean, it's a 100-year-old book, whatever it is, 80-year-old book. Still adored the movies, There's a reason for that. It's not because we're all dumb saps who can't see through the structure. No, the structure exists for a reason. having a true morality in your world exists for a reason. Because people need to latch on to something like that. We all want to believe we're doing good. We all want to believe we're trying to do good and we can overcome obstacles. If you don't believe that, it's like, then just kill yourself, I guess. I don't know. This is it? I mean, you're just like, it's all just suck. Shut up. Nihilism is the weakest point of view. Ugh. It's so lazy, too. It's so like, oh, I'm a big boy, I think. Shut up. So boring. It's all bad. I don't know. Lame. Cotton Ministries. I buy stuff I like. I don't waste my time on anything else. Yeah. No, I mean, same. Why would I bother? Especially with the proliferation of content and how many options there are and how much of stuff you can see on YouTube and there's, and books. I mean, honestly, an endless library of books I have not read, There's so much to consume. I don't need you. And even if I was married to movies, right? Only movie. There's still so many great movies, man. There's still so many, classics. What I watched the other night with my buddy was 1987, I think, 88. The Blob remake. That was sick, dude. That was just fun, just a good time, just like old-fashioned 80s violence, like the first. I guess it's like the second one, but the first like on-screen blob death that you see is vicious. It's vicious. And it was a character that didn't, deserve it. That hadn't done anything like in the context of the movie that was like you'd think, this character had it coming. Or actually seemed like a pretty noble, decent dude. And it was a horrifying death. It was so good. I'll say the movie takes a little while to get going. It's kind of, it sets up its world a little too much, and it's not all that compelling of a world. It's just like a small mountain town. So they're at the football game. He's asking this girl out. This sheriff's got a crush on this waitress. And it's like, it's fine. It's not bad or anything. It's just like, let's pick up the pace here. These actors aren't exactly Shakespeare, and the writing's not Shakespeare either. And so you're just kind of like, all right. Let's get into the blob eating people, But once you get there, it's amazing. Just fun. It's like an amusement park ride, Just get on, have fun, get off, woo, Just a good old time. And yeah, and I just, I'm just there. He's not even a socialist. He's just a boomer shitlib. Yeah, I guess so. I think it's funny to just call him a fat socialist. Just has a better ring to it. You fat socialist. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't care. I really don't. If this is the world you want to live in, this is you want your legacy to be, you don't want to finish your books, all right, fine. Don't. We'll all move on, man. You are so not the only game in town. Yeah, Game of Thrones was a big deal. And it was great for like 4 seasons. It was really great. And there was a steady decline. And it just a wet fart at the end. And then, we got House of the Dragon. I don't care. Okay. Oh, whatever. We're not going to wrap this. All right, whatever. I don't care. What happened to Jon Snow? Who knows? Who gives a shit? Resurrected him. Whatever. There was just so many plot lines and storylines in that show that were introduced with such gravity and such acumen and such precision that just went nowhere. I watched like a video. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a lot of a video of all the abandoned storylines in the Game of Thrones world, and it was numerous. There were so many abandoned plot lines. It's just like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. You don't have a greater guidance. There's no truth here that you're uncovering or guiding with. You're just, this guy dies. No. Here's a twist. He's dead. All right. I grow tired. I grow weary of your play. Take him away. Part of me thinks that he wanted to base it more on reality where the heroes don't always win. I think that would probably be like a very generous interpretation. I think you're probably right. I mean, that is the truth, right? But it's also like, what good is a story where that happens, Like, it's like, what's the, it's like, they make it a tragedy, you know what I mean? But still, it's tragic when good guys don't win. It's not neutral. It's not emotionless, right? You know what I mean? Like, even a scene like the Red Wedding is intense because those characters are good. You know, they're the Starks. They're one of the most noble people in this whole fucked up universe. So the Red Wedding has impact because good people are suffering and losing. You know, it's like it's okay if that's you want your story you want it to be, but it has to be dealt with like still with a morality that's bad when good people suffer. You know, like there still has to have that kind of, you can write whatever story you want, but it still has to have like an objective morality for it to be compelling. I mean, maybe not, you know, I'm no literary scholar. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that has like a completely neutral morality system that is compelling and beloved. Nothing comes to mind. I think like going back to like, you know, myths, you know, like ancient stories, like it's, you know, it's like the good guys don't always win in those stories, but like it's dealt with, you know, tragically, right? It's like, that's bad that happened. You know, but like Beowulf, right? It's about a guy slaying a monster, essentially, right? It's like it's still good versus evil. There's still a reason. There's a compulsion that why you want to watch that thing, you know, why you want to engage with that concept. I think it's just fundamental to storytelling. It's the whole reason we even do it. It's the whole reason we partake in it. I don't know. I'm a bad one. Disease, that's a good way to start a story and a shitty way to end one. Yeah. Look, if that's the case, well, I think that's just the end of the second act. You know, now you need the third act to kind of wrap it all up. I think there's a reason that stuff like that exists. You know, I can't think of anything that's kind of nihilistic and really compelling. Even things that like, are like, even if it is something that's kind of, I feel like it's fleeting. You know, you may enjoy it in the moment, but it's not something you go back to. It's not something you rewatch. It's not something you get posters for. You know, it's not something that you just is beloved. It's like, oh, it's great, and then it just, you know, it just makes you feel bad. Why do you want to engage with media that makes you feel bad? You know, feeling sad is one thing. You can feel like empathy and sadness for human suffering because it does happen. You know, and it makes you, but even that, there's a humanity to it that connects you with other people even more. But I think if there's like a nihilistic just dismissal of good and evil, it's just like, ugh, what are you, a fucking sociopath? You just don't think there's anything as good people, bad people? I don't know. Why? All right, well, you can do whatever you want, but I don't think I'll be reading your book. You know what I mean? The side effect, it's a side effect of his Gardner bullshit. I don't even know about that. Don't even care. I know this. I just think he doesn't. And also endings are hard, especially satisfying ones. It's true, but there's only so many things you can do. And there's a reason why the good guy winning after overcoming incredible odds is satisfying time and again. I mean, you watch most movies. You participate in most media. You know the good guys. There's a great chance the good guy wins, you know? It still doesn't make it any less interesting. You know what I mean? You don't start Indiana Jones thinking like the Nazis are going to win. You know, that's not how you begin that movie, but it doesn't make it less entertaining. You know, it's the journey. It's the whole thing. I was going to say that ironically, but it's actually true. Like that's why you watch it. So, yeah, endings are hard, but just go with tried and true. Have the good guy win. Have him overcome incredible odds, some big fight, and have him win. Yay. You know, wrap it up. I don't know. I think if you're an honorable writer, the truth will come to you as you write it. You know, you have a goal in mind of where it's going. I think, you know, then yeah, you'll get there. Stories can start nihilistic, but then some characters should overcome it through adversity. Yeah. Yeah. Or if they don't, then that's a tragedy, right? And that should still be the same thing. It's tragic that character never grows and developed and overcame his demons. That sucks. What a sad story, you know? But still, that leaves you with there's an objective morality to all this, especially in fantasy. Yes, Sinjin Total. Very well put. Very well put. Okay, let's move on from that. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Bad news. Surprising news, honestly. I genuinely didn't see this coming. Maybe I was just like in the dark on this one, but Mindy Kaling's Scooby-Doo series, Velma, has seemingly been canceled. I could not have predicted this because I didn't even know it was still on the air. I was like, that's still on? Oh. Well, okay. I mean, it was like, wait, this is a new story, and it is. It came out today. It's seemingly canceled. That was still on. Okay. I honestly had no idea. Did not know that. News to me. But yeah, guys, I'm all those Velma fans in my chat, the abundance of them. Mindy Kaling's Scooby-Doo series, Velma, has seemingly been canceled by Max. According to Davey Cummings, a background artist? That's an extra, folks. An extra? On Mindy Kaling's animated... There's backgrounds? Wait. Oh, maybe that's a background, like they paint the backgrounds. Okay, because they call them background artists in Hollywood. The way they call, like, Subway employees sandwich technicians. It's like, you work in a deli. You're an extra. Like, it's not, there's no reason to, but they do that. So Davey Cummings, a background artist, says will not return. Over Instagram, Cummings posted some of his work from the upcoming Velma Halloween special before revealing something huge. Huge news, guys! Velma Season 3 is canceled. Oh my God. This story will surely overtake Joker 2 as a failure. Oh, the shock waves will be felt for months. Backgrounds I painted for Velma Halloween special, he wrote alongside a carousel post of several of different spooky backdrops. So fun working with his crew. There will not be a season 3, but I hope I get to work with these amazing, talented people one day. Go watch the Velma Halloween special on Max. I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Cummings. It may be true that there is no season 3, but I assure you, sir, I will not be watching the Velma Halloween special. I have no interest in anything to do with this show. But yeah, Velma's mystery solving days are over, guys. I think we should all take a moment of silence for the fact that show was even still on. I didn't know. I know. What's Papa going to do with his spare time? What's he going to watch now? Huh? I don't know. Maybe he'll have to go watch... I couldn't think of anything gay to make a joke about. Oh, God, why do you guys watch me? I'm not entertaining at all. Such a glorious people, I tell you what. A sandwich artiste. A sandwich artiste, yes, that's... Do you work at Subway Disease? This shit show is still on. Yeah, that was exactly my reaction. Had no idea. I just remember it came out at the height of like when content was really lame. And, it was like, make her lame and gay. Like that was like the whole thing. And the whole thing seemed to be spiteful and anti-fan. And, like streamers took the bait for a little bit, but then I just move on. And I genuinely forgot that show even existed. And then reading that, I was like, it's still on the air? Well, what do you know? What do you know? She's already moved on to a different project. Oh, well, Godspeed, Miss Kaling. Godspeed. Oh, is this the gardener thing? He claims there are two types of writers, an architect and a gardener. Architects plans out his stories, gardeners doesn't, and just goes with the flow. Okay, fine. There's two. Okay, whatever. Go with the flow. But even with that go with the flow style, like there's rewriting, there's edits. You know what I mean? Like you still have to have like a grand vision. Like he obviously did a lot of research into like medieval Europe, right? There's so many parallels to real events and stuff. So he had an idea what he was doing. Like I don't believe that you're just like, I'm just along for the ride. It's like, that's horseshit. That's bad writing. That's just bad writing, I do believe stories can just come to you, but I still think they need to adhere to some kind of grand structure. There still needs to, even your point of view, if you have a morally rich point of view about your world, I think the story, yeah, it can just come to you like that, but it'll still go in the proper direction, you know? I have written a fair amount in my life, not a lot, but a fair amount. You know, I've written short stories, I've written, short screenplays, I've written television pilots, I've written television treatments, stuff that, mostly for me, but I mean in general, to like maybe sell or whatever. You've seen my work, my vast catalog. But no, I mean, and I think, yeah, I oscillate between the two, where I kind of have like a loose architecture of what happens, and I kind of know what is gonna happen, but I don't exactly know how we're gonna get there. So I take that journey, but I know where we're going. I know how it's gonna end. Like you have to. How could you not? Like, did it just occur to George Lucas that Luke was gonna save the day? Just occurred to him? Hey, got lucky on that one? Come on, get the hell out of here. It just occurred to Stallone that, I guess Rocky didn't win, but you know what I mean? That he would have this moral victory. Like, it's such bullshit. What a hollow horse shit. Like, I'm just the muse, man. I'm just the voice of the muse. I'm the muse's pen. I'm not even a... Ugh, shut up. Just do the work, man. Shut up. Stephen Pressfield, just do the work. Shh. Shh. Manolo Rivera. Hello, Manolo. Life is too short to drink bad beer and watch shit shows. Ah, yes. I like that. The first time I ever heard that expression, it was life is too short to read bad books. And I thought that was great. Because I was like, hell yeah. Yes. That is true. Because I feel like whenever I would start a book, I felt like an obligation to finish it. Oh, I should finish the book. You know what I mean? I should finish it. But then it's just like it's just a chore. Like I read a book in maybe high school, maybe just after high school, called Fool's Company. And it was recommended to me because it was kind of like a parallel, like it was similar to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a book I've read many times when I was younger. I love that book. Really appreciate the first three. Really starts to get off the rails by 4 and 5. It gets weird and abstract, and you can't even follow it anymore. But anyway, the first few books are great. So I was recommended this Fool's Company's book, and I didn't like it. And I just felt like, I'll just finish it. And I trudged through. And when it's over, there's no satisfaction that you did it. You're just like, ugh. Like, it's almost worse. I feel like, yeah, life's way too short to drink bad beer, watch shit shows, and read bad books. Word, dude. Word. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I even forced down, like, a bad beer. I don't bother. I don't waste time with that. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm here watching this retard. Life's too short to watch shitty streamers. Don't waste your time with clods like myself. That is boring and lame. He had an idea, didn't plot it out well. He went where the characters took him, and now he can't finish the shit. He's killed off so many of them. Also, I mean, it's just, I don't know. The characters don't even resemble the characters anymore. I don't know how much that was him and what they call him, Dumb and Dumber, D&D. Where, everyone's who was smart is dumb, and morality is so radically switched, and, Madragons and just McQueen and all that. It's like, who fucking cares? I don't know. It's up to you to finish this thing. Like, I'm not filling in the blanks for you. I want a fully finished show. Thanks. You're getting paid enough. It's more like it occurred to George Lucas's ex that Luke saves the day. Is that true? I know his ex, saved that film. She, it was, an unwatchable mess, and I believe she was the editor who, saved the original. I mean, let's face it, George Lucas is not a filmmaker. I mean, he's not a particularly good filmmaker. He's a barely competent filmmaker. I mean, I like A New Hope. I think A New Hope's great. Those prequels are, can you imagine being the investors? You imagine, all that money, and you're just reading this script, and you're being like, this is it. So this will sell. I sure hope you're right. And granted, they did make a lot of money, but man, those scripts, whew, they are rough, man. It's written by an alien who heard about how people talk. It was not good. Books 3 and 4 are perfect examples of that Gardner BS. 'Tis nothing but meandering waffle. Yeah, makes sense. Tracks. as the kids say. The first time I heard that expression, it was life is too short to fuck honey-ass bitch. Oh, Papa, you never... Oh, bony-ass bitches. Bony bitches need love, too, you know? I'm probably not going to waste my time on them, but they do need love. Matt loves Vogue on poetry. It's the best in the world, man. It's the best in the world. See, I love the sense of humor of Douglas Adams in those books. It's so funny that the poetry is so bad it's like being tortured. It's hilarious. It's just funny. It's just a funny... It's like, and it was... What's his name? Like, Arthur didn't like it, but like Ford was just because mind was melting, and he's like, I'm not gonna make it. Like, it's so funny, so funny. Life's too short, but watching retards makes it seem longer. Yeah, I understand that. I get that. You know, I'm just gonna drag, but I'm gonna drag out your existence. Think about that, sentient dildo. If you were just having fun and enjoying everything you watched every second of the day, life would fly by like that. Okay, it'd just be over. You'd be dead right now. I'm extending your life, okay? I am granting you immortality for a while because it's going to feel like an eternity. That was D&D doing. Yeah. They were lame. Jar Jar Binks is arguably the most pivotal character in the entire saga. I love the dark Jar Jar fan theory. I think that's a funny one, that he's like actually like a Sith Lord disrupting everything. That really cracks me up. I like when the internet comes together and do that type of stuff. What else? Apparently, Brazil unbanned Twitter. Thought that was an interesting development. I didn't really look into it all that much, but I thought that was like, wow, that's a weird one for them to back off on. I wonder what their motivation was. It like just happened. You know? They just like really just walked that one back pretty fast. Let's see if... Brazilian Supreme Court. Oh, it's a Supreme Court. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so the court went against like the tyrannical leader, the tyrant. That is actually pretty interesting. That the Supreme Court would be like, no. You can talk shit about him. Actually, I imagine they don't have free speech in Brazil. Not the way we have it. Oh, no. They want me to sign up to read this article. I don't want to. I just want to know what happened. Well, anyway, X is back for Brazil, so that's great news. I think that's good. I'm always pro free speech, especially against people who are going to be oppressive little twats. Little piece of shit. And then I saw that Russia banned Discord. Tit for tat in this world. You know, it all balances out. All comes out in the wash, as they say. Here's an interesting thing that I've been noticing. And I heard this spoken about, but I didn't really believe it. I thought it was just kind of like his incompetence or just the fact that he's really friggin' old. But I've heard this a few times. I've heard people say that Biden is intentionally undermining Kamala. And I was like, okay, probably not, though. You know what I mean? Probably not. But now I see, so I guess with all this hurricane relief stuff that's going on, right? Florida, squarely in the crosshairs of this hurricane. And this hurricane sounds like a doozy. I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to this, but they're talking like, I saw this post from a guy who said, like, this hurricane is reaching the limits of how fast wind can move on the surface in our atmosphere. And I was like, that sounds really bad. And other people were saying they want to push for a new category of hurricane. This is going to be so bad. And the storm surge is supposed to be like 15 feet of water. What? Really bad. So DeSantis is talking with the federal government about, you know, relief aid and stuff like that, and be the governor of Florida, all concerned, obviously. So then there was a story came out. Kamala claimed he didn't take her phone call or whatever. And then DeSantis was like, I didn't even know she called. Didn't hear that. I have no idea. Then they go to Kamala and she's just like, it's messed up. He's playing these political games right now. Then DeSantis goes out and he's just like, She has nothing to do with this FEMA relief at all. Her powers have nothing, not at all to do with this. I've been talking with the Biden administration. They're actually doing a good job. Like that I don't even know what she's talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Then Biden publicly goes and says like, yeah, no, DeSantis is crushing it. You're doing a great job. I was like, what? What? You're the DeSantis. You're complimenting. Okay. So it did kind of feel like he was undermining Kamala a little bit. Maybe it's not 4D chess. Maybe it's completely nothing. Maybe Biden had no idea about the Kamala and the news thing, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's all just people stringing together a couple of tweets to make it look like Biden is dunking on Kamala. Totally possible, right? So one example means nothing. Could be absolutely nothing. However, then I see this. And there's a book by Bob Woodward, one of the guys who broke the Watergate scandal, like for the deep throat thing and the Nixon administration and all that stuff. Just like J.D. Vance, I did not know he was alive. J.D. Vance said that. He's just like, what do you think about this book? And he's like, I didn't even know Bob Woodward was alive until you said that. So much the same. I didn't know either. So anyway, in his book, he details how Biden actually blamed Obama for the mistake with the policy, the foreign policy of like Russia and the Ukraine. And now I'm starting to be like, that's 2 in 1 day. Maybe they're right. Maybe Biden actually, in a weird way, is kind of undermining Kamala. Because there was that video. Now, it was a joke, but there was that video of Biden putting on that MAGA hat like a few months ago. I'm like, is he genuinely like trying to undermine this bitch's run for presidency? Because if that's the case, that is kind of awesome. And I'm here for it. But that is really interesting. I am like very, very curious if that's like the case. And if that is, I'm not curious necessarily, but interesting, like what is going on? And if that is the case, that is a pretty interesting development. Did not see that coming. Did not expect Biden to be undermining his own vice president, I guess there was a bit of a coup there in his, from his point of view, but I didn't see this coming. Had no idea. Well, Chris, you may be correct. I'm probably not going to put that up on the screen if that's okay with you. But yes, I do think, Dr. Jill. Yes, they all seem pretty pissed. I don't think any of them were all that happy. It's kind of interesting. It's just like, wow, strange bedfellows. Trump and Biden working against Kamala. Like this, our just public landscape is so weird. Do you remember during the debate when Trump said she wants to give transgender surgeries to Guatemalan prisoners or whatever? And we're all like, that was the craziest like string of words that I've ever heard. And then it turns out that was actually true. And now they're running a campaign ad, because I've been watching like football and baseball recently, so I'm actually seeing mainstream commercials. They're running a campaign ad where that's what she's saying and that they're saying as a criticism of her in the ad. I'm just like, this timeline is wild, man. This timeline is nuts. 2 assassinations on the president, Democratic Party coups, like transgender inmate immigrant surgeries. Wow. Am I still on mushrooms? This shit's weird, dude. This is weird. Oh, that's okay, Chris. I don't mind you saying dumb shit. I don't want to get in trouble for what you say, All good. Color me surprised that he's acting like she orchestrated a coup. I know. Not that I'm suggesting that, YouTube. I would never suggest such a thing. In fact, I'm a white dude for Kamala. Was it Mamala? I'm a white dude for Mamala. Right here, okay? Let me keep my friggin' channel. I'm here for it is the gayest thing I've ever heard you say. I'm here for it. I hate those. I don't like those expressions. Those like memes that people say in real life. I was today years old when I learned shut up. Do not repeat that. I am today years. Oh, God. You're an adult. Act like it. I'm sure he stumbled on the Watergate story by chance. I know. Lots of really interesting stuff with that Watergate. And I don't know if it's Woodward or Bernstein. I don't know if it's like one of them. One of them was like almost certainly an intelligence like agent. Don't take my word for that. I don't know what I'm talking about anything. But from what I was listening to, it was like, oh, yeah, that guy's obviously an intelligence. Like, and he's a plant in, like, you know, the Washington Post. It's not like an organic, just good journalism. It's no, that was a CIA plot to, like, get Nixon out. I'm not a crook. And I was like, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's unpack this. Yes, thank you. That's another one, Sentient Dodo. Let's unpack this. Oh, those little expressions. OMG. Yes. Ugh. God, cringe the skin right off my back. Trans immigrant rights are human rights, brah. It's like PC principle. Are you saying she shouldn't be able to get her gender-affirming care in the prison? I don't think that paying immigrants trans prisoner surgeries thing gets Trump any extra votes. Quite a niche topic. I was wondering about that, Small Time. Thank you for your contribution. I was thinking because it's so, like, it's a political campaign ad, right? I mean, I think the idea is it's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be all these words in an order, you know, transgender, you know, like illegal immigrant, prisoners, all like in this order to strike fear into you that if Kamala gets elected, then that will, I don't know, more of that'll happen or something. But I think it's the idea is that it's all these hot button issues all collected together in a fucking crazy sentence. And I think that's the idea. How is Austin nowadays? It's cool. I mean, it's not cool. It's very hot, but I'm enjoying it. I played pitch and putt golf the other day. That was fun. Then went to a decent bar and watched the Mets lose. That wasn't so much fun, but I still had a good day. Hung out with some friends, you know. I do have a very good friend of mine who's leaving, which sucks. But I'd say overall, I still like it here. You know, nowhere's perfect. I mean, I've never lived anywhere where I'm like, I wouldn't change a thing, you know. But overall, I don't know. Of all the places I've lived, I'm mostly happy here. I like my house, you know. I like my neighborhood. Like, I just live like in an apartment complex, but it's just, it's quiet. You know what I mean? I have a park right there I can go walk to. I still, like, I had a spectacular martini from this bar called In Plain Sight the other day. You know, there's great food here. So, I don't know. It has a lot of the things that I like. I don't love being in Texas like the way not that there's anything wrong with Texas, but just it's so goddamn big. You drive 10 hours in every direction, you're still in Texas. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you got to fly out. There's no driving out. But overall, I'm happy with Texas. I like it. Hello, listless. Who's graping in prison anymore? They need new rules. Apparently some of them are running wild, which is like, oh, who knew? If you put a biological man in a woman's prison, he might do some bad things. Shocking. Okay, now it's the second gayest. What, Mamala? You don't like Mamala? Mamala! Florida Keys is a paradise. Oh, yeah, but I couldn't live in that level of humidity all the time. Plus, I don't know. If I feel like if I lived in a place like that, I'd just quit everything. Just go to the beach every day. Get loaded. I would just stop. I'd be like one of those Jimmy Buffett guys, man. I'm chilling, partying for the rest of my life, you know? I just feel like I'd have no impulse to even try. You know, not that I try all that hard, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. And the third gayest thing. You guys keeping a list of the gayest things I've said? This is getting complicated. From Boston, lived in Tampa, which was cool till I had to go back. I get the big drive thing, homie. Oh yeah, I know, dude, it's crazy. Boston, I would never. My friend's moving to Seattle, and I'm like, well, why, dude? Like, I would never want to live anywhere. I don't want to live anywhere cold ever again. You know, I don't like it. It's like when I was a kid and I snowboarded, rad. Like the cold. Other than that, it sucks. It's just, you know, you can't go outside, can't really do anything. You know, you gotta just dress warmer. It just like lasts. overcast and ugly. No, I like hot. I'll take hot over cold any time, any day of the week. I like Nevada. Deserts are good for joints. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Although Nevada, I know time I've been out in Nevada, I'm like, there is nothing. This looks like the surface of the moon. There's no vegetation. Seattle ain't nothing but rain and extreme libs, apparently. Supposed to be really good coffee. One thing I will say about the Northwest of the United States, I hear it is immensely beautiful. Like, it's breathtaking everywhere you go, like the mountains and all the nature out there. Radical. It's also one of the few places in America where you can actually grow hops for beer. So their beer culture out there is brilliant because it's like on the same latitude as like whatever part of Germany where they grow hops. So they make great beer. So that's something. You'd live on the moon if you could. Yes, that's where I was born as well, Manolo. Born in New Jersey. No thanks. I talked to my parents, every winter, and they're just like, they're just waiting it out, really. They're just waiting out winter. It's like, well, that fucking sucks. I can go do things now. I can just go to my house, do whatever. I mean, it rains here more than it did in LA, but still, no, thank you. Okay, so anything else we got to do with the Joker? I don't know. Do I care about this enough to talk about it? It feels more like an FNT kind of article. Yeah, no. Okay, so there's just this actress from The Acolyte who's saying, I'll show y'all. And then we're going to wrap it up after this. Jodie Turner-Smith, the Acolyte star, Jodie Turner-Smith says, Disney can't stay silent when actors are getting effing dogpiled on the internet with racism and bullshit by toxic fans. I would like to see the examples of this, by the way. I'd like to see the receipts. As the kids say, look, I don't know what this person's like on Twitter or social media. If you're like an antagonistic activist type, I would expect to kind of catch some shit. But if you are just existing and people hate the show and they're attacking the actors from the show, I don't know. Acting gigs are just, it's hard. It's a very hard gig to land. I mean, you would, if they wanted to hire me in that stupid show, I would probably do it, like when I was acting. Just because it's a gig, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a credit that can get you more work. It's very hard to get into anything. So I don't really blame actors for taking, woke roles in stupid projects. Like, I think once you get to a certain level, you can really start to be more picky. But, if you're kind of like Jodie Turner-Smith, who the hell even is that? She's got to take the work she can get. Now, that's not to say she didn't approve, isn't a woke monster. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know why people go after the actors. I think you should go after the creators and the writers. Those are the people I think you should go after. Those are the people that wrote this garbage, that attack this, that make the nonsense that's destroying it. But let me read this sentence because this is actually pretty hilarious. Jodie Turner-Smith starred as Mother Anastasia, the leader of a coven of space witches. I mean, a leader of a coven of space witches, and you're kind of like surprised when people are like, this sucks, you suck. Space witches? What the hell are you talking about? So insane. And the short-lived Star Wars television series, The Acolyte, which got canceled earlier this year after one season on Disney+. After news of the show's cancellation emerged, leading star Amanda Stenberg posted a video in which it was not shocking The Acolyte was over, considering the hyper-conservative bigotry. They will call anything they don't like conservative. It's like, I'd like Star Wars to be the good show that it used to be. Oh, what are you, a conservative bigot? It's like, yes, but not because of that point of view. That has nothing to do with my conservatism or bigotry. Okay? Those are completely unrelated subjects. All right? Nothing to do with the fact that I want Star Wars to not suck. Okay? And vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language. It's like, oh, well, stop making shit, The cast faced from toxic Star Wars fans, apparently outraged over the cast, including actors of color. No one cares. It's just such a misrepresentation. It's just like, yeah, there's just a bunch of really passionate Star Wars fans just seething at the mere concept of a black woman in a thing. It's like, don't care about that. And I don't really think any like level-headed people do. I'm sure there might be some people. Who cares? They're mad. Whatever. They don't even, it's probably not even what they've been getting. It's probably just being like, oh, it's trash. It's pushing an agenda that's a DEI. I imagine more it's the politics behind the race than the actual race itself. But, you know, it's like I feel like I can't even make these arguments anymore. It's just like so repetitive, so redundant. I do hear people. I'm just like, oh my God, man, we've made that argument so many times. Just enough of that argument. But anyway, yeah, I just thought it was funny. So she's just like, they need to do something about this. It's like, you could do something about it by just getting off social media. Just get off social media. Get a burner. You know, pretend you're someone else and then just get off social media. And then guess what? The hate will vanish. Who gives a shit? Just get off it. You're already a successful actress, successful enough to work for Disney. So, why do you need to be on it? Just don't be on it. Oh, these toxic Matt the BDM Sith. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Okay, sorry. Your parents don't travel in the winter? Well, I guess my dad kind of goes to Florida, but not really. It's not like they don't like winter somewhere. You know, they don't go live somewhere. They travel a little bit, but they live there. You know, through the thing. They're doing it their whole lives. You know, Penguin is a great show. Good call, Manolo. 100%. Tulsa King is also a banger. I haven't watched the new season yet. I'll have to catch up on that. I hope. I don't know if I'm like all that invested in the concept, so enough to watch a second season. I will start it though, and maybe it'll hook me. But I mean, it's just kind of like, I thought it was funny, just this kind of out of touch gangster going to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and kind of setting up shop. It was a good concept. I just don't know if I'm still interested. I also didn't watch the new season of Mayor of Kingstown either. I'll have to get back to those Taylor Sheridan shows. I like them. I think they're good. I just haven't felt the urge to go there. And I've been very satisfied by The Penguin and Slow Horses too. So, and everyone clapped. How is that even statistically possible if no one watched it? Yeah, good point. That's a terrific point, listless. But, you know, they're grasping at straws. They're just playing the victim because no one liked their show and they canceled it. Looking forward to Creatures, Commandos, and Gun DC. I am 100% wait and see on almost all that stuff, unless there's like a really good trailer. For instance, The Penguin, that had a great trailer, and I was into that, and I was like, I'm gonna watch that. I could you get a feeling for something, like you just like I feel like I will really enjoy that, and I do. So, yeah, maybe if it's a banger ass trailer, or it has like a really good, something about it, or I hear great reviews, but almost pretty much all content right now, I'm very wait and see. I'm not wasting my time or money, just to watch it, just to be there first. Like, I don't care. Like, tell me if it's good. Maybe I'll check it out kind of thing, Still haven't watched Shogun. Will. Cotton says, I don't understand why we need racism to stop. It's funny. Why quit? Well, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be funny if they didn't get upset at it. If they didn't get upset at racist jokes, it wouldn't be as much fun. So you can thank them, Cotton, for your racist ways and the joy you get from it. Because if people were just like, whatever, I don't care, shut up. Yeah, wouldn't be as much fun. Obviously, we need the government to step in and fix this. If they had their way, Sentient Dildo, if they had their druthers, they would. Hey, just look what's going on in Britain. Is that still going on? Are they still arresting people for tweets? Or is that just like a short-lived thing, or are they still doing that? I haven't heard anything about it. That was a pretty wild story. Pretty wild. Last good thing I watched was the Gentleman series, that Before Summer, TV-wise. That was a great show. That was super fun. Really like that. Tires, hell yeah, Cotton. That's like a comedy, though. This is a little different. But that was great. I love Tires. I rewatched it, or started to rewatch it. Super fun. Super fun. I was kind of hoping I'd run into Gerbies at Skankfest, but no such luck. No such luck. Did get to hang out with Danny Polishuk of the Boys Cast for a while, though. That was fun. Got to meet his lovely wife. Got to do a little ecstasy with him. It was great. It was a good time. Yeah, I got to meet some cool people out there. kind of got these sort of, big shot blow-offs a little bit. But overall, had a good time. Got to hang out with some cool people. Mayor of Kingstown is pretty good. I agree. Hello, Chris Wiz. Good to see you. Yes, I agree. I enjoy Mayor of Kingstown. It's just a little dark. V-Dubs just went live. You want to wrap this up? Hey, come on now. All right. We normally do a tight little hour. What are you doing here going long? I want to go watch V-Dubs. Get out. Turn off the camera there, big guy. Shane Dillis and Danny are cool. Agreed. Very cool. I like them a lot. UK is on full police state. Yes, Sally. They're still doing it. That's too bad. All right. Well, I guess that'll do it this evening, guys. Thank you so very much for watching this episode of the MFer Podcast. Just as a reminder, you can catch this episode re-uploaded on the MFer Podcast channel. It'll stay live on this channel for the next 24 hours, and then it goes away. That's me trying to game the algorithm. Don't know if I'm doing it right, but I am trying. Going to keep trying. Eventually, hopefully, I'll fail into something. But it's always going to be on Rumble. It's on Twitter now. And it's going to be anywhere you can get podcasts. So Spotify, iTunes, all that good shit. And if you guys could, out of the goodness of your heart, could go to one of those platforms and give me a 5-star review, I'd really appreciate it. It'd help boost the numbers, help get some eyeballs on this wonderful program, and then maybe more friends in the chat for you to say racist things to. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. But go over there, watch V-Dubs. I guess he's live streaming, and I appreciate you guys hanging out. And y'all have a wonderful night. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta.